What? Yeah. No, I'm behaving myself. No, I'm not playing in abandoned buildings. What? Again? Now, I suppose you had those people follow me again. Fine. Hey, this is Jimmy Farrow from Monty and the Pharaoh, and I want to thank all our subscribers. We have now passed 14,000 on our YouTube channel. But I want to ask our subscribers to take the next step for us and become a full-fledged member of Monty and the Pharaoh. Yeah, that's right, folks. There's 3 different levels to choose from. There's free shirts. There's free autographs. Just check it out and become a member of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh. Later.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh. And at the board is Jared. How are you, Jared?
I'm doing good. How's everyone?
Everybody seems to be piling in. Good to see everybody on Thursday. So last week, we'll talk about our suspension in a minute, but we were going to have Jamie Dundee on along with his wife, Angela, and just go live on Facebook and then tape it when we were allowed to allowed to air it.
Right.
But unfortunately, out of nowhere, we were suspended over the Greg Valentine interview for fraudulent discussions of the previous election. So I guess we're not allowed to discuss the election.
Oh, you're allowed to discuss it, but you have to be on the right side of things.
Well,
You
just be careful.
realize how
I
careful
understand.
I'm being right
Yes, yeah.
now. Yeah, because if you dare like a certain side, you are not allowed to have free speech. The worst part is though, what is an interviewer to do when he has a guest on who he respects
Right.
and asks a question? What is he to do when that guest answers it the way the guest feels? Why is it the interviewer who takes the punishment? I'm a little confused.
Well, I would tell you
about that. I don't think
I
it's
quickly
and
responded
again,
to the suspension. This
the
is the
guest
second
didn't
time.
say anything to me that would have been like, well, he's basically doing a Charles Manson. Everyone's going to
Well,
think like him.
what makes me
I
laugh,
didn't get that vibe.
What makes me laugh, you could have wrestlers talk about rape and drugs
Sure.
and whatever.
Right.
But if they have their opinion about
The former
again,
president?
and this is their opinion, they're not
can't-
telling everybody
It's
else to
their
have that opinion.
Right.
That's no good.
Free speech is dead. Free speech is dead. Dead.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Free speech is dead. That's how it feels. Oh, and I'd also like to say, I love you, Greg Valentine. You the man. How about that?
All right. Well, with that, So anyway, we were gonna have Jamie Dundee and Angela Dundee. And
Yeah.
it would have been fun.
That
but
would have been
we
fun.
had they just had we
They
had
were
too many
experiencing
internet. We
serious
have a serious
technical-
problem. So we were gonna have them on today, but
technical-
Angela has a little issue and Jamie has a little issue. So maybe we'll have them on another time,
That would be
which
cool.
will be fine.
That would be cool.
I wanted to mention this.
What is this?
So
What the hell is that?
this author reached out to me, D.R.
Okay.
Feeler,
Okay.
and he wrote this book, Gorp the Grappler.
Gorp the Grappler.
Yeah, and I asked him
Nice.
to send me a copy.
Okay.
All right. I want to read it, and you
Gorp.
want to read it, and when within the next near future, I guess, depending how everything goes with me, we'll have him on, but I want to
Okay.
read some of the praise for D.R. Feeler. I think I'm saying it right. Book great fun, says David Bischoff from the Washington Post. A
Okay.
good job in a genre crossing of a tall take with science fantasy. Great. That's Science Fiction Hall of Famer Joe Hadelman.
Okay.
Really sucked me in. Nicely wacky. USA Today best-selling writer, Pulp House editor, Dean Wesley Smith. So some big names.
Okay.
And so again, I haven't read it, but it's about an alien invader mistakes the world championship of wrestling for the world championship of Earth. Whoops. Could have happened to anybody,
I
right?
kinda like that.
So this is going to be an interesting read, and I'd like to have him on. It would be kind of fun,
Oh, that works.
right? What do you think?
I like it. I like the premise.
Stinger in the
It's
house.
insane.
How are you, buddy? Little
I like
roll
it.
call. Got everybody in. Rick
Stinger.
B. Again, thank you, sir, for the kind
Letters
words.
up, Rick B.
The first lady is in the house. We got
Ah,
Roy
Maria.
is in the house.
up?
Let's
What
see
is
who
up?
else we got.
Did
JB.
Did you mention Phil already?
I did mention
You did
Phil.
mention Phil. What's up,
ESO
Phil?
Creative in the house. ESO,
up?
I keep promising to call you. I'm sorry. I cannot get my head out of my proverbial ass.
I know.
RJ, good to see you, buddy. Who
Pull
else?
real hard, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Look, dude, concentration is not one of my strengths right now. That is for sure.
Well, you know, distractions have been occurring.
Yes.
I get it. I get it.
So, something disturbing.
What?
Why? 4 killed in an hour-long Memphis shooting rampage before the suspect arrested, police say.
Okay.
Memphis, Tennessee, a gunman who live-streamed himself driving around Memphis, shooting at people.
Live streamed.
He was live streaming.
That's
Killing 4
fantastic.
and wounding 3 others in seemingly random attacks, was finally arrested after crashing his stolen car, police said early Thursday, which is today. Hours-long rampage had police warning people across the city to shelter in place, locking down in a baseball stadium and university campuses, and suspending public bus services as frightened residents wondered where this man would strike next.
This is
Memphis
insane.
police said 4 people were killed, 3 others were wounded in 7 shootings and at least 2 carjackings before Ezekiel Kelly was arrested. By the way, Mr. Kelly was just served a 3-year sentence where he would still be in prison today, and 4 of our fellow citizens would still be alive.
He was released early from his sentence.
Yep.
It's saying.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that are: do we really now? He's arrested, right? They didn't kill him or anything. They didn't shoot him or anything.
no,
he's
he's
arrested.
arrested, yeah.
So my thoughts are: do we really need to waste any tax dollars on giving this guy a process, or can we just strap him to the chair now?
Don't work like that, Farrell.
I know it don't work like that, but is there any way we could just see our way around it? Maybe perhaps just one time. No,
I don't think so.
I guess I'm just a ruthless SOB then, aren't I?
But more
because you can't do this kind of shit.
But you know
He's
what's
live
funny?
streaming doing this,
hold on.
and we're gonna waste our tax dollars
You
giving
can-
him a
you
civil
can
trial.
you can-
What was civil about you, bro?
you-
Fry.
You can live stream.
Shit,
You can live
fry.
stream mass shootings,
Yeah.
but you can't talk about an election.
No, of course not. Be careful what you say, or I'll suspend you again. Freedom of speech is
The guy
dead.
literally is on social media
I can't-
talking and then
yeah.
pulling a gun out and shooting people. You can
Did
see
they,
it.
did they take it off of social media, or can you still look it up?
I would hope so.
You wonder. You wonder. Unbelievable. Yeah, we live in a very fucked up world. I don't know. I wouldn't waste my tax dollars
that's
on 'em.
not enough.
I'd strap them up and fry them.
Suspect in Memphis teacher abduction and death ordered held without bond. Man suspected of abducting and killing a Memphis teacher who was out jogging was temporarily ordered held without bond Wednesday on the murder charge. So we all know the story. The teacher was kidnapped and then murdered. Just taking a jog.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to waste tax dollars on this one, too? Look, this is going to sound very, very sands of time and very old school, but I almost believe eye for an eye. If you start something and you do something wrong, you should get it right back. If you start it. You started it, then you get what you get.
Do you remember it being like this when we were younger? Look, you had your occasional serial killer. I got it, right?
Right.
You know that.
Oh, we had our psychos, but nothing like nothing.
But
like
this is madness.
This is
This is
complete
madness.
And I've told you before, I can draw a parallel, and I don't give a shit if nobody hears it or not. And it's so simple. In 1996, America closed every psychiatric center, for the most part, in this country and told the sick, take a pill, you'll be okay at home. Well, guess what? Within a year, we had Columbine because there was no place to send troubled people, whether they're young, whether they're older, whatever it is. We don't give a shit. We give them a pill. I'm not feeling good. Go to a doctor. You know how much you got to pay to talk to somebody, by the way? Look, when you're sick, families used to realize when they were family units, when we were kids and way before us, our grandparents, they'd recognize if someone in the family is fucking sick in the head, guess where they would go, Mike? Kings Park Psychiatric Center.
I understand.
Pilgrim State Psychiatric Center. Or some of the other very famous ones, Blydenburg, wherever it is in Philly, wherever it was. Now, these places weren't perfect, but at least these places were keeping potential kooks like this from roaming the fucking street. Now, if you're insane, you got to do something to get into a Kings Park. You know what they call Kings Park today? A prison.
Right.
You go to prison.
Listen to this. A mess.
Mental illness is fucking real, folks.
A mess just wrote, where I live, just had a police chase a man for the last 4 days. He stabbed 11 people to death.
Great.
Wounded 10. The RCMP caught him yesterday where he died arriving to the hospital.
Okay. Well, at least we won't have to waste tax dollars on that one.
Jane B said hopefully he had a painful ride.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Listen, you know what? You bring up a valid point.
I'm telling you.
Mental illness is real.
We just turn our backs on sick
Or is it
people.
just
We
that
don't
people
give a
want to be
shit.
famous?
Who the fuck? See, that I don't... Look, I want to be famous. We all do deep down. We all want to be loved and adored and all that shit.
Right.
And if you don't, there's something weird about you. I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with you. Maybe just something weird. But who the hell would do that? This is how I want to be remembered? I'm going to be famous by shooting innocent people or doing harm? That is not. Look, okay, news to the future serial killers of the world. It's all been done. You're now falling into not a quality situation. I'm being very sarcastic.
Sure.
We're falling into a quantity situation where it's happening all the time. You're not going to differentiate yourself. You're not going to make yourself so fucking special. Why don't you just fucking chill, okay? Because the Charles Mansons were 1 in a billion. As far as these wackos.
Not anymore.
Or the Jeffrey Dahmers.
Not anymore.
You know what, though? It's happening so often. Exactly. Quantity. It's just like...
Can I ask you a
You're not
question?
going to be famous over this. You're going to be famous for being an asshole.
Can I ask
Who
you-
wants to be famous for that?
Let me ask
Well,
you a
wait
question.
minute.
Interesting.
What about me?
Let me ask you this. I was talking to the pastor the other day, right?
Yeah.
It was a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
But actually, it's funny. I was getting a sandwich after my blood work today, and some guy just starts talking to me about Jesus. But anyway, it's not the point.
Did you bless the sandwich?
No. So here's
golden opportunity.
Here's the point.
Okay.
I was talking to the pastor, and you mentioned Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone doesn't know Jeffrey Dahmer, right? Jeffrey Dahmer caught people and ate them and
He was
all
cannibal.
that shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But from what I understand,
Many people.
Jeffrey Dahmer found Christ,
Correct.
and
So did Son of Sam.
All right.
Son of Sam. Gotcha.
And according to my pastor, and even this gentleman that was in there, said that when we cross over, if Jeffrey Dahmer truly did repent, he'll be in the right side of Christ.
Interesting.
Now, as a human being,
Interesting.
it's difficult to accept that,
Right.
right? Because
Interesting.
we measure things like
Well,
cheating on your wife, doing drugs,
Right.
lying, lusting,
right.
eating people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Bible
Mhm.
says it's all the same.
Yeah. There
Right?
is no greater sin except there is a mention of there is one great sin, but that's up for debate. But yes, sin is sin to God if that's what you're getting at.
So
Yes.
do you
In the Bible,
believe that if
yes.
Jeffrey Dahmer really repented?
Here's what I believe, and I'm going to make this as real as I can.
Go ahead.
I don't know whether Jeffrey Dahmer truly repented because I am not inside Jeffrey Dahmer's heart. That's the job of the baker. So I can't answer this. Nor would I have the balls to attempt to answer this
No.
because that is for the principal to answer.
I understand.
So I ain't touching it. I understand your pastor's point, and it's obviously very pro-positive. Jesus is the Lord, the way, the truth, the life. I understand
Right.
where he's getting at. I completely do. But I do not have the cojones to know for sure what Dahmer felt in his heart, and that's up to the principal to measure. So I ain't touching that. I will
Understood.
not touch that out of respect.
JB says,
Yeah.
crazy. Did Manson ever actually off anyone? I do not believe he did, right?
Manson,
You claim there was something earlier that he did. but-
Manson was behind Shorty Shea. He did whack off a couple of people back in 65, 66.
According to legend.
Not to legend, Bugliosi discovered these things. I mean, not that Bugliosi was the greatest guy either, but Bugliosi was the prosecuting attorney. Charlie also did physically tie up the LaBiancas. The night that the LaBiancas
But he didn't
were
kill
murdered.
anybody.
No, not that night. No, he did not.
Theoretically,
is Charles
Manson
is
was
Charles
charged
Manson
with
a murderer?
influencing.
Yeah, of course he is.
Well, because he's charged with influencing.
Right. Did Hitler physically kill all those Jews in the concentration?
No, he didn't.
Do
That's
you
a great
see
point.
where I'm
No,
going?
that's a great point.
Okay, so let's not give Charles Manson any kind of out here.
We're not
the
gonna-
guy's a psycho fuck,
Right.
who I actually find incredibly interesting, and he had a pretty good voice.
Really good
Which
point
is
about
weird,
it's really good
but,
point
you know.
about Hitler, man. I didn't think
Yeah,
about it
I
that
mean,
way.
come on, Stalin too, and Mussolini, and a bunch of others. I mean, you could go on and on and on. Genghis Khan's got the highest body count in the history of mankind. Genghis Khan.
Good wrestling show.
Yeah.
If you didn't know it, that's the start of the show, Mr.
Well, Genghis
Jimmy
Khan was
Farrell.
related to Killer Khan.
There you go.
Wrestling!
I'd like to thank the band that sings the theme song for Monty the Pharaoh and
Uh-oh.
Jimmy Farrell, along with his partner Bart Griggs.
Bart, man!
Make up the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall could be found on the Wisteria Hall YouTube page, Wisteria Hall Facebook. No, I'm sorry. Spotify, Apple Music, and Reverb Nation. Download such great songs as In My Dream, This Life, Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain.
Yeah.
When are you guys coming out with a new album?
It's not, you know what? It's in the works. We're getting it going.
I'm excited.
We actually have a lot of tracks laid down already.
That's awesome.
So, it's on its way.
And if you didn't know, you are watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty the Pharaoh. See us on the Monty the Pharaoh YouTube page, Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Twitch TV.
Well, we're not suspended.
When we're not suspended.
Right.
Channel 115 every Tuesday at 9:30 and Saturday at 11:30, and Channel 20 at Tuesday. The contracts are signed. There is
God.
some time changes. I
What?
will announce.
Okay.
It's not much difference, I
Okay.
don't think.
All right.
Because the spot's been doing well for the network.
Good,
so.
good.
We'll be right back with what we're calling people who appear to be resisting change may simply be the victim of bad habits.
Ooh. See you in a sec.
You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence, Collision Specialists, 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence.
And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB. That's right, folks. Canine Corral for all your dog daycare and overnight care. Call 631-549-1544. That's 631-549-1544.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty the Pharaoh, only seen here on Indie Music TV. In the house watching us tonight, the great Randy Hogan.
Randy Hogan! What is up, our friend?
I
What
love
is up?
Randy.
Randy, oh,
I love
rules.
Randy. Randy, I got to give you a shout out.
I got two autograph
Tell you
pictures
what's
of
going
Randy.
on.
That's what a mark
We
I
had
am.
him and Mach in there.
Yes.
Mach has gone AWOL.
Mach, what do you
Mach
mean?
went AWOL off the channel, as you know,
Right.
and then he's
Now
just
he's just
now
gone
he's
AWOL?
just gone. Like
Is
you
he-
don't see much
Wait a
of
minute,
him
was
at
he
all.
hanging out with Wolfie?
I don't know. He shared his new YouTube page,
Oh.
and he's doing well. 2 subscribers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Two.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
2.
no.
He actually,
The cream
you
of the-
enjoyed his
the
show.
cream of the flop.
The cream of the flop.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I did enjoy his show. So much for that.
Catch me on the Monty and the Pharaoh
Should have
channel.
been sign #1.
And I'm doing well, and then I say, you know what? I don't need those guys anymore. I'm gonna do it on my own.
Right.
Hear you, brother? Like Hulk Hogan.
I left you 20 TV dinners. That's right. You stay in this room. Yeah.
I don't need you either, Hogan.
These are the worst Macho Man impressions I've ever heard. We are horrible.
Yeah. I don't need you, Randy Hogan.
Yeah, dig it.
Do it by myself, yeah. Get 2 subscribers, yeah.
Oh, man,
I was actually getting paid by Monty the Pharaoh.
That's my puppy you're hearing.
I was getting paid. But I went to do it on my own. and I'm nowhere.
This is really rough.
Along with
I didn't know we were going to
along
take
with
this
Mike
train.
Messier, who had a show on our
Don't
channel.
start with me. Don't start with me. Please don't start with me.
Mike Messier, the angry wrestling fan. I had no subscribers and I only have 2,000. You know what? I did this on my own. I don't need Monty and the Pharaoh anymore. How many subscribers do I have left? 2,000. I'm not being an ass. I'm just like,
I'm enjoying the shit out of this. The best part is just that, hey, Mess, how's the AEW locker room doing? You stupid ass.
well, he's got
Oh, it's toxic in the WWE. Meanwhile, in AEW, let me in. I'm
All
gonna
right.
kick the shit out
Give
of
the
you.
fans feedback.
can't-
We
I
all know
can't.
about CM Punk. I'm not going to go explain what he did. Everybody knows. Everybody's been watching. It's hot.
What'd he do?
Pharaoh's thoughts
He
on
didn't
CM
do
Punk.
anything.
Well, what's your thoughts on what he supposedly
my God,
did?
give me somewhere to start with everything.
The scrum.
The scrum.
Wins the AEW title.
Yeah, again.
Goes on a scrum.
Yeah.
Sees a report he doesn't like and goes
yeah.
crazy
Yeah,
as
first
cokehead Tony Khan
Right.
sits there
Just sit-
frozen.
Cokehead.
Would you see him Wednesday night
You
announcing
think
the
he's a cokehead?
Dude, he's announcing the
Is
AEW
he?
tournament. His eyes are like 50 miles long. He's
Oh my
reading off a
God.
coupon. He's like,
That's so cool.
you got to look at that video.
Tony Khan's a
It's like,
cokehead. Oh my God,
please.
that's so hilarious. That's hilarious.
Come on,
Okay,
give it
well,
to me.
okay. So CM Punk goes off. First off, he goes off about the whole Colt Cabana thing. We know the history with Colt Cabana and the podcast and all that other crap and the lawsuits and all that other good shit. So he's going off about that, and that's fine. I did love what he said when he said that the two people who've made the most money off me are Vince McMahon and this fucking prick Colt Cabana. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Go, Phil. Go. All right, we've heard this before. Go ahead. Go, Phil. Then he starts to go after the EVPs, and I'm going, oh shit. He's talking about the guys who started the company. Is he talking about fucking the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega? Holy shit, is he taking his shit on them? And then he goes after MJF, and I love what he said. He was like, MJF likes to shit where he eats. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't realize why Tony Khan was so subdued. He was coming down from coke. Now I understand.
You think that's it?
That he just sat there like a useless owner. I mean, the company is going up. CM Punk is destroying the company by sentence. And then afterwards, toof, 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 they're smashing down his door.
CM Punk has
nice
no,
company
CM
you guys
Punk,
got there.
CM Punk has no respect for anybody, and that's his
Right.
problem.
No, he doesn't.
And I'd have to think he has no respect for his wife, AJ Lee.
Why? What
Because
do
if you treat everybody
I'm not
like he
touching that
treats,
one.
if
That's
you
rough.
treat everybody like the way you treat,
Mm.
look, Vince McMahon, Triple H, the WWE, now
Yeah.
Colt Cabana. Look,
Yeah, you don't-
he could be angry.
Yeah, you don't want
but
to get in a fight with
how
him if
about
you were
respect
his
Tony
friend.
Khan, who brought you
Yeah.
back, paying you millions of
Yeah,
dollars,
you know,
and now you're
none.
destroying everything he's trying to build?
None. He's talk about going into business for yourself. This is the whole scrum was kind of going into business for himself.
RJ Hudson says, I knew I wasn't the only one that Tony was hitting the cocaine. That dude is all over it.
I didn't realize this. That's interesting.
The AEW needs to reset. All right, so last night, great promo. MJF returns.
I love MJF.
Let me go over some of the lines with you, and then I need
Okay.
your response, okay?
Okay.
He talks about how he might have said offensive stuff. He was just kidding, right?
He loves AEW.
He went on about the addresses the upcoming tournament, and that he has the chip, and then he doesn't want to work hard, but he's going to win the title. I was actually on Twitter, and I was like, "This is the end of AEW if MJF is turning face."
Right.
I was already writing that. I'm like,
Right.
they cannot be going down this road.
No, I didn't think it. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm the only idiot that thought it. I must be the only idiot because I was thinking to myself,
I didn't think it.
they
I was
don't-
waiting
They
for
just
the-
lost all their faces.
Right.
They're going to turn this guy, and I'm like, this is such a huge
That would have
mistake.
been horrendous. No. I was waiting for the change, and Moxley, of course, made that change happen.
So he starts attacking the Bills fans. He starts name dropping all the
great.
all the WWE guys.
Sure, and old Saint Nick Khan, the real Khan in this business. Wow. He was. You weren't too happy about him mentioning WWF. Why the fuck would they do that?
It's a mistake.
Why would they do
This
that?
is the lack of control they have.
Right.
Like,
There is no
look,
control.
The
inmates
fans
are
loved
running
it.
this company.
The fans loved it, but you know what the point is?
Yeah.
You're just destroying the company. AEW's on fragile ground right now.
Right.
There's no reason to mention Nick. I mentioned earlier to you.
None.
The casual wrestling fan doesn't know who Nick Khan is.
Right.
Why would you waste
Why
your
would you-
time mentioning
right,
him?
Right. You're going out of your way to call
Why would
call
you
light to
bring
your
back
competitor.
Cody Rhodes, who jumped off your ship like
Right.
it was the sinking
Right.
Titanic?
It's an embarrassment that he left you. Quite honestly, I wouldn't bring him up.
Why?
Because they don't think like Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon never mentions AEW. Never. He never did. Why would he? They're down there. That's how he sees it. This is an act of desperation. The company is acting desperate. They're acting desperate behind the scenes, and they're acting desperate on camera. And who's my primary writers for AEW anyway? Who's writing all of this shit?
Well, we discussed this. If you're Tony Khan and you got money, get some
Kevin
real wrestling
Sullivan.
people. Yeah, go get Sullivan. Go get some fucking minds that are going to help you build this.
Right.
Couple of comments. Jason says CM Punk had issues in the WWE, then Fox, now AEW.
Yeah.
Maybe the problem is Punk. No, it is Punk.
It is Punk. It is Punk. Punk's never going to be happy.
Punk has no respect for anybody but himself.
He's never going to be happy.
Again, I'm going to reiterate, I don't think he has any respect for his wife, and I can guarantee that. JB said, well, Punk's supposedly out 6 or 8 months anyway. Yeah, all of a sudden he's injured. I mean, come on.
Right.
Just another, you know what it is?
Right.
Just disappear for a while, and we'll figure out what to do, and
know,
I'll just hand you money.
The company can spin it any way they want, but if you told me on the surface that this is how it would turn out, Punk's been champion twice and hurt twice. All scrums aside and everything else, this has not translated well. Okay? It's not done well. His big mouth is getting the company attention right now. The moment he's out of the company, who the fuck's going to even pay attention anymore? Well, we're going to keep watching WWE retreads? CM Punk is the last thing interesting about them on their way out that door.
Let me ask you something. If you're so
He's the only thing interesting.
Did you buy the pay-per-view?
Him and MJF, they're interesting.
Did you buy the pay-per-view?
No, of course not.
Because
So I don't give a fuck.
wasn't that important?
I don't need to waste my hard-earned money on Dean Ambrose, Chris Jericho, and Daniel Bryan. These are former WWE studs who are past their fucking prime. Earth to people. That's the reality. Brock Lesnar is no longer even in his fucking prime. Roman Reigns is in his prime. I'll watch Roman Reigns every fucking week. He's in his prime. You know? By the way, I was looking at the age of some of the guys, and you'd be shocked to know the age of some of these guys. Did you know that Damian Priest is 39 years old?
Yeah, I thought I heard
That
that
kind of
somewhere.
freaks my shit out. How can he be an up-and-comer when he's 39?
Been in the Indies a long time.
Apparently so.
I mean, when did AJ Styles, how old was he when he got into the WWE finally?
AJ, probably about 38.
Yeah, so there you go.
38.
And he was an up-and-comer, right?
At least 8, but AJ was AJ. At least AJ had
JB says
legendary-
Tony Khan brought up the WWE also in the scrum. First of all, let's start with this.
Yeah, nobody said
First
Tony
thing with
Khan's
AEW,
smart.
we're not doing scrums anymore because
Yeah.
you know what? You know what?
It's the only thing that's getting people to pay attention to
Wait,
him.
hold on. So
This
the
scrum
dirt
got
sheets,
more attention than anything
The dirt
they've done
sheets
lately.
came out with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
All right.
Hiding.
Thunder Rosa
She's
asked for
hiding
her
in the
release.
locker room.
Right.
Right, she's
she asked
hiding.
for her release.
Yeah.
But Tony Storm in the scrum, and I didn't watch that part of the scrum,
Right.
was kind of making fun of that she didn't believe that Thunder Rosa was really hurt.
Right.
Do you remember when we first started?
This company's
I want
a
you to tell the
mess.
fans this story. When we first started together, right?
Okay.
So I was part of a show called the John Sawyer Show. That's how it all started.
Okay.
And we were on the show. I was on the show, and then Jimmy came along, and then it was the three of us, and then finally we just became the Monty and the Farrow Show.
Right.
But anyway, back in the day when we first started, one of our first guests was the Metal Maniac. And again, if you guys remember, the Metal Maniac was on here with Kevin Sullivan and
The
Andrew Anderson.
all-time biggest douchebag
But
guest we've ever
That's
had.
the,
Go ahead.
that's not my point.
Douchebag.
By the way, Maria Davis says Diamond Dallas Page is his prime at 35. She's right.
Right. Diamond Dallas Page, of course, as Maria knows,
Yes.
is the very rare exception. Very rare.
But anyway,
amazing career.
John Sawyer.
Considering.
John Sawyer was an independent wrestler, a local Long Island independent
Correct.
wrestler,
Correct.
and Metal Maniac. And they started cutting a promo on each other during the show.
Right.
So Metal Maniac cuts his part of the promo, and then John Sawyer does his return promo.
Right.
Tell the fans what Metal Maniac told John Sawyer, because I know
I
it's
know.
embedded in my
I
mind.
remember it very well. He said, "You moron! You put over your opponent."
So John Sawyer was putting him down like, you're the sucky wrestler, like all these different,
Right.
like, you're the worst, right? You can't do this, you
Right.
can't do that. And Metal Maniac
It's
said,
like, you moron. You make your opponent look good so people have interest in the match. You don't embarrass them. What are you, stupid? That was basically the deal. He was like, learn the lessons, kid.
right.
You know?
You
Not
can
that-
attack.
By the way, not that Metal Maniac is any Ric Flair.
No,
Okay?
but-
I just
but-
got to say that
but-
because he's a douchebag.
But you know what? That has
Anyway.
always stuck with me. And when I listen to guys do
Yeah.
real promos, they
Yeah.
might go, I hate you, whatever else.
Right.
But they always somehow talk about,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, use Roman Reigns with Brock Lesnar after he beat him.
Uh-huh.
He's like, Brock Lesnar is a beast, but I took him down, and I slammed whatever he uses that line. I slammed him or whatever. You don't put down your opponent. It makes no sense.
It was great what he said about Lesnar. He was like, Lesnar is a bad man. He goes, I got to give him what he is. He's a bad man. Probably the baddest man I've ever stepped in the ring with. But that doesn't mean I ain't happy I kicked his ass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or he's not as bad as I am.
He kept the coolness to his character while continuing to make sure that,
So anyway, I lost the point. Why did I bring that up? Because you were saying they were putting down somebody, right? Oh, Tony Storm was putting down Thunder Rosa. And I'm thinking to myself, because I read it, I didn't listen to it.
You got to put your opponent over.
And I'm thinking to myself, like,
not under.
Then
it's one-sided.
Why did AEW make Thunder Rosa their champion? Why? Is it because Britt Baker had to do teeth? Which could legitimately be the truth. She might have had to go back to work, right? Because she's still practicing. We're laughing, but
Adam Cole's teeth look lovely.
He does. But why did you even make her your champion? You gave her no... Listen, I am so anti-Thunder Rosa.
I know
she
you
is
are.
not a good wrestler. No. She's terrible on the mic. Okay, she was where she belonged, NWA Power. That's where she deserved to be. That's the way I felt about her.
Right.
But if you're going to choose to make her your champion, what are you doing?
I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what he's doing at all. The place is being run by a fan.
RJ says that's why Thunder Rosa wants to be released. Here's the problem with Thunder Rosa. She lies all the time, too. She never tells the truth. She's on Busted Open all the time. I did hear her on that. And she claims she had an injury. So if she really did ask a release, or she really was hiding from Jamie Hayter in the bathroom, just say, hey, look, I've got a family. I'm a wrestler. But I'm a performer. I'm not a fighter, even though she was supposedly fought in MMA.
And I've said this to you before, too. If you're hiding in the bathroom and your profession is professional wrestling, you need to get another profession. You should not be hiding in the bathroom. By the way,
why? When did professional wrestling become a land of tough guys?
It's not that at all, but you should know what you're walking into. Nobody said it's a land of tough guys, but if you're going to tell me that hazing has never occurred in professional wrestling, come on, dude.
It did, but it doesn't occur in today's wrestling.
And I think it does. I still think it does. I still think that there is a pecking order that you got to get through to get your respect in this business. I don't think that it's changed that much. I really don't. I mean, sure, maybe it's not.
Because
I don't think Mr. Fuji's around feeding people dog. But I do believe that you got to fucking bust your ass to get through to a certain level of respect in wrestling companies. And even in independent, shitty little companies.
Has cost people a lot of jobs. Do you know that the WWE, when they released wrestlers for 20 years, were putting their clothes in a garbage bag?
Right. Now it's a problem.
But now it's a problem.
Now it's a problem. Yeah. Did you know that people had political opinions going back almost 200 years? Well, now it's a problem.
Right.
That's why Monty and the Fowl weren't around.
But my point is this.
Can't have a political opinion.
A guy lost his job for doing the same thing he's been doing for 20 years, which was never a problem.
Right.
And said wrestler, what was her name?
What, Thunder Rosa?
No, the one that got the shit in the plastic bag.
Oh, who was that?
Who
they put
this is like really
was that
bad.
Mickey James?
Mickey James, thank you.
They stuck it in a garbage bag.
Luce in the house, how are you, buddy?
What's up, Luce?
Mickey James, how many women or men did she see get their shit put in a garbage bag? And did she complain about it?
Nope, I'm still working. Not me. I'm still working.
That's my point.
Yeah, whatever, man. It's yeah.
Look, it's the atmosphere that's going on right now. It really is. It's Mitch Seinfeld in the house. Mitch, how are you? Michael Fenster, what's up, buddy? How are you?
What's up, fellas? What's up? What is up?
It's the wrestling fan. Let's speak about today's wrestling fan.
Okay.
You've got, and look, I hate using terminology, right? But we got to kind of put it into perspective here.
Right.
You've got the smart mark.
Right.
And then you have the older wrestling fan, say you or me.
Right.
That nothing is good enough but the old time.
That is not me.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
It's not just us.
My day was the best day.
It's non-stop of the picking sides.
Right.
Look, wrestling is a TV show, okay?
Yeah.
It's a TV show.
That's what it is.
You like what you like.
Right. Right.
and you don't like what you like. All right, I got to explain it better to you, okay?
You're going to have to do better than that last sentence. Now I'm really confused.
All right. Let's start with this.
Okay.
You got the younger smart mark that all they do is they know everything, the inside about wrestling,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. And they pick a side, and no matter what that side
That
does,
side is
whether
right.
it's good or bad,
That side
it's
is
the
right no
greatest
matter
thing
what.
ever. We keep
Right,
cheering.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't me.
And then you got the
Yeah, I
old
got
school
you.
fan that says, wrestling sucks now. Back in the day, it was better. So I saw a post from a fan, a younger fan, obviously.
Okay.
And he wrote, okay? And I responded to this post because someone I knew responded to it, and I didn't argue with them, but I'll explain what, and then I want you to feed in. He put the Mount Rushmore are the top 5 greatest pro
This is the
wrestlers
young
of all
kid?
time. The young kid.
Okay, what does he put?
He put Roman Reigns,
Interesting.
Steve Austin,
Okay.
Undertaker,
Okay.
Rock,
Okay.
Hulk Hogan.
That is a hell of a list.
Okay, hold on.
That's impressive.
So this person,
like
and I'm
that.
not going to name
Coming from a
them.
younger fan,
I'm not going
that's
to name
cool.
them. That this person responded. He goes, "This list is a joke."
Oh, here we go.
He goes, "What about Sammartino, Flair, Rogers, Terry Funk, right?" And I said, and he goes, "Putting Roman Reigns on a list is a joke." And you know what I wrote to him? I said, Roman Reigns is known more now by people than Bruno Sammartino ever was. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not knocking Sammartino's greatness.
Today's media and global outreach of the company, yeah, correct.
I said, how
Correct.
could you argue a list of Austin, Undertaker, Rock, and Hogan and put Buddy Rogers on your list?
Well, guess what? Dinosaur, you be clueless. That dinosaur is clueless.
It's not. See, that's the thing.
Clueless.
I don't think it's clueless, man.
No,
I
it
think,
is. It's clueless.
Is it?
Because it's arrogant. It's what it is. It reeks of arrogance, especially if I have an idea who the fan type is. That who thinks that their little fucking window from 1972 to 70 whatever is the ultimate and everything else around it is inferior. Well, fuck you with your arrogance. You're fucking wrong. Okay? That's insane. But that same asshole, notice that same asshole, how do you not have Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin on any Mount Rushmore of any
I just want to read a
You
comment.
have to be just historically ignorant.
Brian
to
Starr
not include
put-
at least Hogan and Austin. You are ignorant.
Brian
okay?
Starr put Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Triple H, Bret Hart, Owen Hart. Listen, I'm not going to argue with anybody's
Sick
list.
Sick
But my
list. Great
point
list.
here, and Jay Will
But I'm
says
not
pro
putting Owen
wrestling's
Hart
a
on
lot
Mount
like
Rushmore, but I
college,
understand.
lot like college football. Once upon a time, there was a Southwest Atlantic Conference, and the USA would not leave the pack, right? Which we know about, right?
Right.
You know what side I take, right? So my point is, isn't it about your memories?
Of course. Well, then no one's list is wrong.
That's correct.
Okay?
That's
but
correct.
But if you're trying to be like historically responsible and you write in on other people's opinions, considering nobody's opinion is wrong, it's their opinion, and you write this list is a joke,
That's
you're
wrong.
basically saying to everybody, fuck you, I know better.
That's
well,
right.
you don't fucking know better.
That's right.
Because if we really are being historically responsible, this young kid, the fact that he put Hogan and Austin, the other ones can all be interchangeable. You can argue till the cows come home. But you cannot argue Hulk Hogan or Stone Cold Steve Austin as part of the most influential. If you had to pick, who the hell did more business or more impact than those two? Don't give me Buddy Rogers. Oh my God, holy Doctor Who, your TARDIS just went into the lake. Your time machine. Are you insane? You know? I don't know. Bruno Sammartino, I can see people feeling that way. That I can see. Ric Flair, I can see people feeling that
we've
way.
had this
You
discussion
can't
about-
hand me Buddy Rogers when you've
we've
got
had
these
this
names
discussion
here.
about sports.
Hey,
You still
stop
believe
it.
that if Babe Ruth stepped in today's league, he would still hit 1 billion home runs?
I think he could.
I tend to disagree,
think
but that's
he could.
fine. Neither one of us are wrong because
No.
it's not really true,
No.
right? We don't know.
Right.
You could
Right.
be right. I could be right. Who
Right.
the fuck knows?
Right.
Right?
Right.
You know,
I mean, do you think Barry Bonds would have been, how do you think he would have done in the dead ball era?
don't know.
It's probably not too good. It was the dead ball era.
But don't know.
Do you understand what I'm getting at?
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying?
You know, we talk
I'd like
about,
to believe Barry Bonds
You
would
talk
be able
about
to hit
Mark
like 40
McGuire
home
on
runs.
steroids. Mike
Right.
Schmidt could have been on steroids, everybody.
Did you ever look at Mike
Steroids
Schmidt's-
have been around since 1930s.
What about Greg Luzinski, since we're talking about those
sure.
Phillies guys?
I
man?
agree.
Woo! Those guys had some beefy shit forearms. They looked pretty veiny. kind of, like the Ultimate Warrior. A little bit.
RJ Styles sounds like he named all the megastars of the business, which includes Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Look, whether people want to admit this or not,
Yeah.
look, I'm 55, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Seen a
not.
lot of
I don't
shit.
look at wrestlers like I did when I was 15.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But
That's for
clearly,
sure. That's for
Roman
sure.
Reigns is so far. Roman Reigns is the next best thing since John Cena.
Yes, I agree.
Period.
Since John, yes. He's
Okay.
the biggest star since John Cena in this business. Yes.
But
I agree. Whether you
po-
like it or
my-
not, it's the truth.
But I can't discount a 60-year-old
Mhm.
who remembers San Martino like
Right.
a god
Right.
because he was a god
Of
when
course
you were
he
a kid.
was, especially in this area. But was Bruno Sammartino God in Minnesota? Was Bruno Sammartino God in Texas? No! Not during that time period, right?
Right.
Otherwise, what's the point of having an AWA or an NWA? I don't know, man.
Listen, again,
And I still think Bruno's one of the greatest ever, and he would be on the Mount Rushmore in many ways. I could see it on many Mount Rushmore versions. He's Bruno. But let's get a grip. Roman Reigns is part of a universal thing now. Everybody knows the WWE. We have Chris Lee watches us from Australia every week. You think that was happening in 1972? Bruno Sammartino, it wasn't happening. It's happening in today's world because there's more eyes through technology.
Well,
Roman
so
Reigns
when-
is a huge star.
when you speak about
Numbers
when you
wise.
speak about change,
Yeah.
this is why. So A&E has those wonderful documentaries.
Right,
The last one they just had this Sunday was on WrestleMania 1.
right.
Okay, that was guys. That's when wrestling changed, and that's when the old angry wrestling fan
Got real angry.
got angry, right?
Right.
Because now they lost their prized possession, right?
You took
because
away my secret.
but this was my secret love,
This was my secret.
right? That no one else.
I could enjoy it.
Those are
whenever.
the same people
This
that
is
talk
all
about.
based in selfishness, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
But, well, whatever. Okay.
These are
Yeah,
all.
go ahead, deny
these
it,
are all
jackass.
people. Oh, by the way, get Gorp the Grappler.
I think I was talking to
We're
somebody.
gonna get him on. We're gonna talk.
Yes.
Try to order that Amazon.
Gorp. Gorp the Grappler. I love it. Yeah,
People
selfishness.
always talk about how they never wanted to tell people they were wrestling fans because they were embarrassed. No, the reality is they didn't want other people to discover
Right.
what they loved. And then when people could get behind the curtain, like people that we know,
Right.
then it was really special.
Right.
Because they became a manager, they made a movie.
Right.
But all of a sudden, like guys like you and me, all of a sudden get a popular show.
Right.
How the fuck did these guys get? Fuck
Right.
these assholes.
Right. It's called
So-
talent.
But the
shithead.
point is,
Anyway.
cable, Vince McMahon, WWE, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper.
Right.
That was the spark.
Right. Right.
The one thing I want to keep, believe me, I love. We did our top 10 greatest WrestleManias. WrestleMania 1 is in my top 10. I don't think it was in
No,
your
I don't
top
think
10.
I don't think it was in mine. But I understand the importance.
As a wrestling fan,
importance of it.
we owe Cyndi Lauper, Wendy Richter,
Everything.
Captain Lou Albano, and the
Right.
fabulous Moolah,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Because
everything.
without that match,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Nothing starts.
Right.
This started it all.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper started this all.
Yeah. She was.
Wrestling would be in a whole
You-
different atmosphere.
The
right now.
MTV connection just blasted it right over the top, and of course you can't discount Hulk Hogan, Rocky III. You can't discount it. It was the perfect storm, and it was the perfect idea from Vince McMahon. And if you're jealous and you hate him, that's on you, dude. I'm sorry you missed all these great WrestleManias over the years. I'm sorry you missed all the great WWE time. Have fun with your rewind. Stay in 1970, whatever. But do me a favor, just stay there on your own. I don't want to hear from you. I don't give a shit.
You know what's funny though?
You know,
These
and
same,
stop calling everybody else a joke because they don't think like
these
your tiny little fucking window that only you can.
but
fit
these same
through anyway.
people,
You know?
it's funny. The same people
Mm-hmm.
that talk about wrestling, they're baseball fans and football fans.
Mm-hmm.
They're rooting. They're a Yankee fan. They're rooting for Aaron Judge. They're not going, Babe Ruth was better. I can't watch
Right.
baseball
Right.
now.
Right. It's it's
Oh. Right?
different
You don't
animal.
ever hear that.
Well, we don't-
Oh, baseball was great back in the day. I don't watch it anymore because it's stupid now.
Right. We don't have any of that. To tell you the truth, the only sport that really does apply to that besides wrestling is basketball because they just shoot from 57 feet out now. The game has changed.
I can't stand basketball.
It's a joke
And I
now.
loved it.
You can't play defense.
No,
There's
you
no
can't.
such thing.
It's not a
There's
joke.
no such thing as passing and sharing the ball
No.
and getting the guy with the open shot. There's none of that shit. It's just let's go down the court and take a 40-footer. It's awful. But that is a legitimate complaint. When you
It's
start
a
to
complaint.
complain the
It's
way
a complaint for you.
I
and
think it's
that-
legitimate.
But hold on.
You know.
Hold on. NBA numbers are through the roof.
Right.
They changed it for a reason.
Right.
Right? Because the fan wants
That's all
offense.
they want to see.
See, when people like the
That's
WWE under Vince McMahon sucked. No, it didn't, dude. It's a $1 billion business.
Yeah, it did
doesn't
not
matter
suck.
what you think.
It did not
There's
suck.
there's 3 million people watching
Right.
it every week.
You know what's really bizarre? You can suck, but if you have enough of a history, you can get away with it though. Like for example, did you know that the New York Knicks are like the most valuable franchise in the NBA? How is that possible after all these years we've watched them suck? Because
By the
they
way,
play
Phil
in the
says, I
city.
wonder what the comic book guy from The Simpsons would say about wrestling's Mount Rushmore.
The comic book guy from The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Who's that?
And Jason
I'm trying
says
to think
Mr.
who the
T
Sim-
was equally pivotal. You're 100% right. 100% right. He was pivotal. Phil mentions Bob Orton Jr., who we had in here. Bob Orton was a piece of the puzzle, right? But
Right.
when you talk
He
about
was an
WrestleMania-
additive, to a preservative.
Dude, you know what
Very-
it comes
very
down
good
to?
one,
It
though.
comes down to what you like. Do I like today's wrestling? I'll tell you
Right.
what I like today. Again, if I watch an old match, I have a very hard time watching it. I have a hard time with 5-minute arm bars.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
again, I have a hard time with watching today's wrestling.
Right, because it's...
But I will tell you, I'm so invested in Roman Reigns for some reason, I can't watch his matches because I'm afraid he's going to lose.
Right, because you're really over the top
I'm
with
scared.
that. You're
I'm
really
like,
truly
I don't want
engaged.
this guy to lose.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
I feel good watching his
Do I like the
matches.
mic action? I love the mic action. The mic
Right.
action now is so much better than it was. Well, no, it started with Piper, but
Right.
it's so good.
No,
right? These guys can
there's
really
some great
talk.
talkers, of course, of course.
All right, so anyway, to prove our point, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to go head to head. Farrell and I decide to put two guys together, and he'll go over the parameters
Oh, my
for
God, do
this,
I have to?
okay?
Wait.
But we're going to take as old as you can and an icon in the sport, Bruno Sammartino, and we're going to put him against
Another as old as you can.
an old as you can guy,
Icon in the sport.
our icon in the sport,
Absolute-
Jerry Lawler.
Jerry the King Lawler.
That's
Let's
right.
get that in.
We're going to put them against
Yeah.
each other. We're going to see who wins this head-to-head on the parameters. And I have a
This is
feeling
gonna be
it may be a little
interesting.
bit different than we think. So we'll be
Yeah.
right back.
Elm Logistics for all your logistic needs. Call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics. Pride, performance, and partnerships. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, where we're going to bring one of our segments that come often. Pharaoh, it's called Head to Head. So Pharaoh, lead us on the way, buddy.
Oy, here we go. I guess I got to get my shit together. All right, we're going to be doing an old head-to-head where we do, how many categories? 5?
5.
We do 5 categories pitting 2 legendary figures, maybe sometimes not so legendary wrestlers, head to head. All right, category number 1, mic skills. You know, are you the king of blab or what? Did you just make me reach for another Twinkie? Come on, dude, you got to be able to talk better than this. Mic skills. Number 2, mat skills. Frankie Williams getting pounded into the canvas.
1 second, real quick.
Yeah.
JB says he can't hear us. Is our sound okay?
Yeah, it's good.
All right,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Oh, what's going on there? Raise,
Yeah.
raise the volume out there in Kentucky, perhaps. I don't know. All right, category number 2, mat skills. Do you have skills like, Frankie Williams? Can you take a beating with, by the way, is that a mat skill?
They're saying our mics are low. Yeah, Turn them on. All right, just see. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
But,
I'm sorry to keep cutting you.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Matt skills. By the way, is that a Matt skill, being able to convincingly sell as a jobber? Because I think it is.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's interesting.
Why not?
All right, so give me a little Bret Hart, give me a little Frankie Williams, but please, whatever you do, don't give me Goldberg versus The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. All right, category number 3. That's the it factor. By the way, I love this one. Are you cousin It there? Or
I'm cousin It.
You're cousin, and I'm
And
it.
you're It.
And I'm it. Oy.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
absolutely.
All right. Well, we thankfully have a little bit of the it factor, but
Turn up your voice a little bit because everybody's telling
voice?
us our voices
My
are low.
big mouth?
Yeah, it's so
really?
just
Very
maybe it's
interesting.
us.
Okay. Interesting. All right. What category
That's better.
are we
We're
on?
good now. Good.
Are we on category 3 with
I'm
the it
throwing
factor?
you off. All
You're
right, go
killing me here.
ahead. Back
the
to the
it
baseball
factor
card.
is turning into the shit factor again. But anyway, that's category 3. I mean, do you do it for me or not, okay? It factor. Number 4, back of the baseball card. Pretty obvious. Belts, championships, accomplishments. What the fuck do you got on the back of your card? You got some World Series rings? What do you got? All right. Category number 5, the impact on the industry. Like the Hulkster, as I always go to, And perhaps not as much, perhaps one of our contestants tonight. Maybe that's the point we're getting at.
By the way, people are weighing in, so
Yeah?
I'm not going to tell
Really?
you what they're saying.
Interesting.
I'll read you guys' comments.
I have a
afterwards.
feeling who I think they think is.
All right, what do we open up with? Mike skills?
Yeah, let's do Mike skills. This is a joke. I'm not even going to begin to entertain this. Jerry the King Lawler stomps Bruno with like a mud hole. It's not even close. Bruno is don't even waste your time.
So here's an old school legend.
They're both old school.
I get it, but
Yeah.
San Martino is like the Babe Ruth, right?
Of the time period, correct. Yes.
Against, could we call Lawler Roger Maris? Just for
I
this
would like to. You
conversation?
know what? I'm not going to diminish him that way. I would like to call Jerry Lawler almost. Wow, that's rough, man. You got me struggling for an athletic equivalent. I can't call him Roger Maris. He's better than that.
Could we call him Mark McGuire?
Okay.
All right. Just
Yeah, if
for
you
this
want to do Babe
conversation.
Ruth and Mark McGuire,
But
you could.
I'm gonna
Can I
agree-
say Ken Griffey Jr.
Fine,
instead?
good enough.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'd rather
agree-
have someone honest who hit honest home runs. Go ahead.
I'm going to agree with you here.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Mhm.
Lawler stomps
It's
San
like
Martino.
a mud hole. Yeah, it's not even close. Not even close. Jerry Lawler is one of the greatest talkers ever and became one of the greatest commentators ever. Jerry Lawler was just gifted.
And San Martino also
That way.
commentated where he was good. I thought he was good.
Serviceable.
Serviceable,
Let's be
good.
fair, and we grew up on him. Serviceable.
I understand.
He was serviceable.
He's had moments where he could get you excited when he was angry.
Yep.
I can remember when he
could
beat
sell
up
a match.
Randy Savage.
No one's saying he can't sell a match. We
Right.
are comparing Mike skills. There's no contest. Let's cut it out right now. Jerry
All right,
the King.
Jerry. That's a
Yeah.
blowout. This isn't even
Blowout.
close.
It's
yes.
it's like 15-2.
All right, good.
If it was a baseball game, 15-2. Go ahead.
Matt
The
Skills.
next one.
What's
Matt
next?
Skills.
Is it Matt Skills
Yeah,
there?
I think it's Matt Skills. Mike
Jared?
Skills, Matt Skills. All right, we'll do Matt Skills. This is a wash. Neither one of them were Kurt Angle. You know what I mean? Neither one of them were AJ Styles. Isn't this a wash? Matt Skills.
Wow. So let's think
Jerry
about
had
it.
the flying punch.
San Martino was a
San
total
Martino
ground and
was a
pound
ground
wrestler,
guy.
right? Just all ground.
I think that they're very similar. I can't say that one was Bret Hart over the other guy. They were both serviceable. Right?
All right, tie.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
I don't
I'll go with
see
it.
one out wrestling the other one. I think the two of them were serviceable veterans. That's it.
I'll go with it. I'll give it
Okay.
a tie.
Back of the baseball card? Yeah, let's do back of the baseball card.
This one we
All right.
might argue about.
We might argue about this, but I can't. I have to give it to Bruno Sammartino. I have to. I actually don't even think it's close. Because I understand that Lawler was the AWA champion and stuff, but not for long periods of time. It was a cup of
But
coffee.
Lawler's list of championships
I understand that.
extensive.
I understand that, but Bruno Sammartino was selling out Madison Square Garden for almost 20 years in the company that wound up being the New York Yankees.
Jerry Lawler was selling out the Mid-South Coliseum,
I got
right?
you.
Every week.
I got you. But I do believe this. Jerry the King Lawler was king of his area. Bruno Sammartino was king of the
his
entire
area.
coast,
Dude, wait a minute.
pretty much.
In the beginning of the show,
No.
you were speaking about
From here
San
way up.
Martino,
Yeah.
and you said,
Yeah.
San Martino here, but
Right.
go to Missouri.
Right.
Who's San Martino?
Jerry is, this is my whole point. That's why I feel like, but at the end of the day, I still feel you do not sneeze at the longest reigning WWF champion in the history of today's WWE. You don't do it. There's a reason why Bruno is Babe Ruth.
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm going with a tie. I'm not gonna give it to
can't do
either
that.
one.
I'm giving
so
that
you
to
got
Bruno.
San Martino. So you got
I'm
1
giving
1
that to
1,
Bruno.
and
Yeah.
I've got 1.
You're making
Tie,
it very
two.
complicated. You keep track of you. I'm getting like, holy shit, you know?
I'm just telling you.
So what is it, 1-1-1 right now for
You're
me?
1 1 1.
Right.
I'm 1, and they're
Right,
tied. So
right.
it's Lawler up 1-0
Okay.
basically. Go ahead.
It factor. Jerry.
Hmm.
Jerry the King Lawler has more it factor.
Hmm.
Jerry the King Lawler in his prime was able to sit on Letterman and throw coffee with, the thing with the
Yeah,
Kaufman.
but that should be on influence on the industry. That shouldn't be.
Well, that's
play
true
into it
too, but I'm
factor.
just saying that you don't think that Jerry the King Lawler had more it factor in his prime than Bruno?
But you just made the statement that Bruno Sammartino sold out Madison Square Garden, yada
Right.
yada yada, right?
Right.
So wouldn't that be?
That just
impact
means
on
that
the
Jerry the
industry?
King Lawler probably, if he had been the guy over here, would have done the same thing. It factor is it factor. You think Bruno had more it factor? Wait a second. They're the same in the ring, we basically said, right? On the mic, Jerry Lawler blows him away. And you're telling me that Bruno has the same it factor as a caped and crowned?
Well, you can have an it
young
factor and not
in
have
his
great
prime?
mic skills. Why can't
Well,
you do that?
You can have that.
Warrior had it factor, right?
Okay, well, isn't the it factor in the end your presentation?
Sure.
You're going to tell me Bruno Sammartino had a better presentation than Jerry the King Lawler? No fucking way.
You had better competition.
Well,
was
let's
in a
not
big
get into
area.
that's what, but that's not it factor.
I'm gonna go with tie on this one too.
Dude, you're killing me, dude. You're just making it even across the board.
Well, no, I got Lawler up 1-0, right? Because it's tied.
Well, I got
through.
Lawler up 2-1-1.
Okay.
All right. Impact
And
on
this
the
is it.
industry.
This goes to Lawler because you just named it.
I agree.
The Andy Kaufman thing.
I agree.
He changed that
I agree.
moment.
Yeah.
You know, as great as San Martino was, Lawler changed the industry.
It's just Lawler did. Lawler did change the industry.
Yeah.
He did.
When we first brought this up, I said to myself,
This
"There's
is a
no
very painful
way.
thing, by the way, because, right, you'd think there's no way that Jerry the King would get the better of Bruno head-to-head. Well, guess what? He just did. He just did. That's all there is to it. And you didn't even want to give him the back of the baseball card,
Yeah,
Bruno,
I
which
did.
I think is insane.
Okay, that's fair.
That's me. You know,
That's fair.
look, let's just recap real fast. Mike skills, stop it. Not even close.
Not even
Back
close.
of the baseball card, fine. To me, it's Bruno, okay?
All right, whatever. It's close enough
It's
that
close
it could
enough,
go either which way.
But, you got the long WWF
Sure.
tenure, okay?
Right.
Then was impact on the industry. We know Jerry did that. It factor, I have to go with Jerry because it's about your presentation. It's
Again,
about your
that's
presentation.
close
Don't
that
forget,
it could end up
Goldberg
with
never
Joe.
said a word, and his presentation was absolutely. By the way, Goldberg in his prime might have eclipsed Jerry the King.
It's
With
hard
his
for
it
me. It's
factor.
hard for me to forget
It's a
about
rough subject.
25,000 people cheering this guy on every month.
Right.
Okay.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Um,
but in the end, Jerry still wins.
In the end, Jerry still wins.
Crazy, dude.
So, to my friend out there who wanted San Martino on the top 5 list,
Right.
Jerry Lawler
Right.
just in some cases, and we got
This is
people
subjective.
watching.
Yeah.
Really, it's a blowout by Lawler. We're kind of
What are the fans saying? Because you can see it. I can't see it. I'm just curious.
You got.
I'm sure some folks think San Martino wins this, and I could understand that. That's
There
fine.
is not one person that says San Martino
Very
wins
interesting.
this.
'Cause I feel Jerry the King was, and in his prime, was overall, he had him. He's got Bruno. Jerry the King Lawler is one of the all-time greats. Most people remember him as just a color commentator, but we grew up with
Roy
Jerry the King
Batiste says Lawler was
the shit.
80-time champion in his own territory.
I believe that.
That's fine.
I believe that. I'm not
Still
discounting
doesn't
Bruno's-
diminish the back of the baseball
yeah,
card.
Bruno's reigns were ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And he held it for years and years and years. 7 years one time, 4 years the other time, approximately. It's fucking
And JB
insane.
says puppies is a catchphrase. What's Bruno's?
Right.
It's true.
Listen, it's not even close. I mean, it's bizarre, but it's true. Jerry the King wins this. And be careful, because one day we may take your beloved Ric Flair and put him up against Bruno, and that could be very interesting, too.
And here's the other thing.
That could be very
If we
interesting,
did this in a regular sport and put Babe Ruth
Yeah.
against
Ooh,
certain
can we?
people,
I would love to do that.
it could be very close.
I would
and it
love
could
to
be
do
this
that.
type of thing.
Yeah.
Because
I would
as
love
much
to
as
do that.
everybody loves Babe Ruth and knows Babe Ruth, time passes on, players
passes
get
on.
better.
Right.
The vehicles become better.
Right.
You know, to be fair to the older fan,
Right.
wrestling was their own little dirty secret back then,
Right.
and Bruno was
Right.
their icon.
Right.
It's not a dirty little secret anymore.
Right.
So times have changed, and this is the way it goes.
Right.
Anyway, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. Again, want to thank you, and I hope you guys Just enjoyed it. Farrell?
Yeah, it's nice to be back too, and let's hope we didn't say anything this week that'll allow us to be on next week, right?
I hope you're right.
Let's stay out of trouble, folks.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
Freedom of speech is dead. Later.